Hi there guys, hope you're well. My name's Chris Smith. Welcome to day 15 of my saxophone journey. I've been trying to learn to play the saxophone now for 15 days and I've got a couple of things for you today. So first is I'm going to give you a rendition of Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers. That's the first song I've been trying to learn. And then secondly, I've got a bit of a question for you. I'm not really expecting you to answer it. It's just kind of my lack of understanding, but it's to do with music and scales. And anyway, I'll explain that a bit later. So let me try and do a bit of Bill Withers for you. There you go. So it's slowly getting better, as I said. Now, the question I've got for you, and this is, I was watching a few videos on YouTube about good things to practice when you're learning the saxophone, and they talk about learning to play the scales. And one of the scales they mentioned was what they called a C major scale. And from my limited understanding, the way they described it, a C major scale is basically you play from one C up to another C and back again, so there's descending, ascending and descending. So I learned that one, and that seemed fairly simple because it's basically just, once you've got a C and you can go C, B, A, G, F, E, D, down to C again and then back up again. So this is kind of vaguely what that sounds like. So that's kind of good practicing, kind of getting your fingers to get familiar with those patterns. Now, I looked at another scale and somebody else mentioned a G major scale. And I thought, okay, so that's basically going to be from like a lower G up to a high G and back again. But it's not. It's you go. Some of them are the same, but in the middle of there, instead of it being an F, there's an F sharp. And I was thinking, what's that all about? And I just kind of assumed that in music, and I've kind of seen a piano, and now I'm kind of looking at that, it makes a bit more sense. In a piano, I kind of assume that you've got your notes, which are, if you like, the white key, so A, B, C, D. And when you get like a C sharp, that's the black key. And if you've got C sharp, and the next note up from that would be a D flat would be the same black key. So you can almost give the same tone two different names, either C sharp or D flat. So I thought, okay, that kind of makes sense. Every note is a letter, and there's a half note, half tone in between there, which are the sharps or the flats. But it's not as consistent as that, because there are some. If you look at a piano, you'll see there are some white keys that don't have a black one between them, and equally there are some, and because of that, there are some letters. So I'm going to be totally wrong here, but like an E, for example, I don't think there's an E sharp. That man might be wrong here, or an F flat, which would be the equivalent, because there isn't a black key there. And I'm just kind of thinking, well, why make it so complicated? Why not just have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then sharp and flat in between each one? That would be so much easier. Anyway, I'm going to see my music teacher tonight. I'm sure he can give me a lesson on the history and the theory of music that will explain that. But if you're struggling with that same challenge, then you're not the only one. Anyway guys, thanks ever so much for all of your support. I really appreciate all of your comments and feedback on these videos. Please continue to do that. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube. It's if you're not watching this on YouTube, if you are, then you can just click on subscribe. But it's Chris Smith Saxophone. Thanks ever so much for all of your support, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.